And now we have an absolutely great guest for you, one of the great writers in American history, the author of The City and the Pillar, Myra Breckinridge, 1876, The Golden Age, among many, many other books, novels, plays, essays. Gore Vidal joins us on the Young Turks. Mr. Vidal, welcome.
Welcome to you, to my ear.
All right, great to have you here. You know, mainly I want to talk to you about the tide of history here, because you've also written a great deal about American history, and I think a lot of people assume that America has gotten more liberal as time has gone along. But we are in the midst of a deeply conservative age here in the Bush administration. Can you tell us from your experience what those ebbs and flows of history have been, when we've been more, you know, in your experience and in your lifetime, when we've been more liberal and less liberal, and which direction we're heading now?
Well, Arthur Schlesinger, I'd like to answer this question. First, there is this liberal tide. Then there is a conservative one. And he could go on for about 10 hours on this one and get nowhere with it. Occasionally there's what looks to be a conservative tide, and it does go away. And in the long run, it would be nice to think that there was some kind of spiral of progress. But I don't think we've had that luck for a long, long time.
Yeah, you know, I want to get into that a little bit, because I do believe in the spiral of progress. I know that there are significant downturns in American history, but you know, overall we've gotten more and more expansive in our rights. Blacks have the right to vote now, and women and people who don't have property to go all the way back, etc. Do you see that progress, and is this just a temporary blip, or are you a little pessimistic that these blips are not as temporary as we think they are?
Well, you say, you know, blacks have had their rights extended until now. It's a great moment in our history when 13 million of them are being heard from. So this is a high point. I think we'll look back on it and wonder, when will such wonders come again? Because simultaneously, white people with a lot of money have the rights to steal elections. They have the rights to falsify history every day, with the notion of they're reporting the news. Well, they're not. They invent a kind of little picture of American events, always untrue, always self-serving for them, and the result is that our people are totally befuddled. They have no way of knowing what's true and what isn't true. And is anybody disturbed? Nobody's disturbed at all.
We're talking to Gore Vidal. Let me follow up on that. Has the media always fixed the news? And for what purpose? Do the people doing it, are they aware of it? And why are they doing it?
They're doing it in order to maintain control of the nation and of its wealth, which is all they care about. And I mean, we don't have political parties. Let's begin with that. And we've never had them since John Adams said, "I want a nation of laws, not of men." Well, that's very lofty, of course, but what he meant was that he didn't want faction. Well, faction is political parties. Now, without faction, you don't have any kind of, motion going within the state. And that's his, you know, we're suffering from it now.
Mr. Vidal, you know, I can't call you Gore. I can't do it. I was going to, but I can't do it. I got to ask you, you know, I hear this, and I've heard you speak about it before, and there's a part of me that's a little skeptical about it, because this idea of control, who is it that wants to control us? How many of them are there, and how did they gain such amazing control when it seems invisible to the naked eye?
Well, to the blind eye, of course it is.
Uh-huh.
Remember, we have carefully been given the worst educational system of any first world country. Our people don't know languages, they can't spell, they don't know any history. They have nothing to relate anything to, and you've got to be able to do little tricks like that if you're going to figure out where you are. Well, we have no ways of finding out things. And we have the least curious people on Earth. They're not interested in anything, basically. And as a result, we get into one mess after another.
Of that I have little doubt, but who are the people who are trying to control us, in your opinion?
Well, stop the conspiracy fishing. I mean, the National Association of Manufacturers. Shall we go through them one by one?
No, but
it's a boring job. What?
No, I really want to get a handle on it because I very much respect your opinion and I want to understand it better because, I know through friends of friends some people that work in the media industry. For example, Brian Williams. And Brian Williams is a good guy. Now, he's reported on things in a way that was skewed and biased before, and we've talked about it on the show. But I don't believe that Brian Williams has an agenda to control the American people and defeat them, etc. Am I wrong about that, or is he also being manipulated in a way he doesn't understand?
If you're that simplistic, of course you're wrong.
Okay.
It's far more complicated than that. Let's say the people who own General Electric. I'd say they, in a way, they control much of what people think in the United States. How do they do that? Well, they make weapons. Particularly nuclear. So they're busy with that, trying to sell their wares, anticipating wars with glad cries. No, that's just one company. But there they are, and you can't get at them because they own NBC. So that takes care of television. There's no voice around them. There's no way of straightening anything out.
So you think
I would have thought that when a presidential election is stolen, I would have thought that was news, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would have thought that was news as well. And
we have proof of it.
And the amazing part of that, what I'm fascinated by is how it works on a smaller level, how the editors make their decisions, how it gets to the anchor, etc. Because I can understand that GE has this agenda, and then they, enforce that in a way that is subtle. But to use the example you were saying, Mr. Vidal, right there, we're talking to Gore Vidal, all the newspapers got together after the 2000 election, and they did an analysis of whether Al Gore or George Bush actually won the vote in Florida, in the state of Florida, and they did a count by every single count imaginable, except, ironically, the one Al Gore asked for, which was just recounting Miami-Dade, Broward, and two other counties. Al Gore won. He won the state of Florida. If they had done a recount, Gore would have won. The Supreme Court said otherwise. But the papers did not print that in their headline. In the text of the story, they eventually did. But in the headline, it said it was mixed bag whether Gore or Bush would have won. If Gore had gotten his way, he would have lost.
Oh, sure. And anybody who believes in that believes the tooth fairy is busy during the night.
I'm with you. So I'm wondering, why did the editors write it that way? Is there a directive? What is the pressure on them to maintain this fiction?
Look, I started to tell you that there are no American political parties, and the subject didn't interest you. Because we have no opposition to those who rule us. We don't have anything at all. How do we get to them? Well, it's very difficult. Now, there's a congressman called John Conyers, who's now chairman of the Judiciary Committee of the House of Representatives, first straight man, and he decided there was something fishy. He was then in the minority, that is, the Republicans were in charge for that week. And so Conyers got suspicious of the returns from Ohio in 2004. This is an easier one than 2000. When you get the Supreme Court lying and cheating, then you have all sorts of constitutional problems. So let's say, accept as a given that it is well known to people who follow this sort of thing that that election of 2004 was indeed stolen by a man called Mr. Blackwell. And Mr. Blackwell was Secretary of State of the state of Ohio. Why would he have an interest in stealing it? The Republicans made billions and billions and billions of dollars out of the coup d'etat that took them absolutely into command of our whole electoral system, as demonstrated by 2004. Now, would you like to find out? It's very easy. There's a slender volume by Conyers with an introduction by me, published by a small house in Chicago. That's all we could get, but we did get that much. And it's all laid out. A beautiful case has been made. Now, you've got to get interested in details. In other words, well, that's your idea of a detail. Well, that's not my idea of a detail. Well, not all people's ideas are equal, but facts are different.
Yes, that is
so. Get interested in the facts of the case.
All right. Unfortunately, believe it or not, we've already run out of time. This is unbelievable. We'd love to have you back on.
That is one of the ways of control, isn't it? Briefly now, tell me the meaning of life.
I wish we had more time to do all that. Maybe we should have you back on the website where we can take all the time in the world. All right, Gore Vidal, thank you so much for joining us on the Young Turks. Can't thank you enough.